Hello everyone. In our last video, we saw what is Bluetooth, we saw what is HC05 Bluetooth module, and we also understood a few tips on connecting Bluetooth module with Curio FireShield. In this video, we are going to have a look at the structure of a Bluetooth program. In our last video, we understood that HC05 Bluetooth module communicates with Arduino using serial pins. And since it is a serial communication that we are going to do, we need to establish this serial communication. And for that, we need the command serial.begin. And we know inside serial.begin, we need to give the baud rate, which we generally use is 9600. Without this command, the serial communication will not be established and Bluetooth will not work. So this has to be a mandatory command for Bluetooth communication. Now once we do this, we need to read the code. We have learned in sensor programming, read, store, compare, act. Because the sensor programming is based on conditions, different actions. So we need to read what condition we have received, store it, then compare the condition, and we need to act according to the condition. Even Bluetooth programming is condition programming because we are going to receive different codes for performing different actions. But Bluetooth has one more step. All the data which is received from another Bluetooth is received in something called buffer of HC05. And we need to check in the buffer if something is available. Only if something is available in buffer, we will perform the next step. It is just like you're at home and some guest arrives. How do you know some guest has arrived? They press the doorbell. When you hear the doorbell, you know that somebody has arrived, and then you start taking action. You don't keep on going and checking door every few minutes or every few seconds. You're doing whatever you're doing at home. When the doorbell rings, you know that somebody's arrived at door, and then you go check who's arrived. Based on who's arrived, decide what action you should take. Similarly, in Bluetooth, we need to keep on doing whatever work we are doing. We will go to the door or we will go to Bluetooth only if something is arrived in Bluetooth. And that something arrives in buffer. So we need to poll the buffer if something is arrived. Now when there is nothing in buffer, mathematically what information is in buffer? There is zero information in buffer. If something arrives, then there will be more than zero information. It might be 1, it might be 2, it might be 3, 4, 5. We don't know how much data we have received, but there is something which is more than 0. And that's how we check this buffer. And for that, we use command serial.available. Should be greater than 0. So if serial.available is greater than 0, then only I go and read the code which is there in the buffer. Then only I should perform my actions. So this has to be inside an if. If serial.available is greater than 0, then I will perform my actions. So what we are doing, we are checking if there is anything in the buffer. If there is something in the buffer, then only we will perform actions. Otherwise, we will not perform actions. Now the actions are going to be same like the sensor program. We read what is there. And for that, we use command serial.read. Now, if we read, we need something to store. So what we need? We need a variable. So I'm going to create a variable. If I have to create a variable, I need to know what type of variable, what type of data I am expecting. If I am expecting an integer value as a code, I will create variable as int. Let's say int code. So I'm expecting that the value which I'm going to receive is going to be an integer value. So I store it in code. Code is equal to serial.read. So I have read the value, I have stored the value. Now what I do? I compare and I take action. So if code equal to let's say 1. Let's say I'm going to receive two codes, one for switching on the LED and 0 for switching off the LED. So if code is equal to 1, I should switch on the LED. Switch on LED. So if code is 1, switch on LED. If code is equal to 0, switch off LED. So what we have done? We have first established the communication using serial.begin. Then we are checking if there is something available in the buffer. So if some code has come, some code has been received by our Bluetooth from other device, and if that is greater than 0, then we read that what we have received and we store it in a variable. And then we using if, we compare. If code is 1, do this. If code is 0, do that. I can have multiple conditions. Not only two, I can have multiple conditions. You can also use a switch case statement for checking multiple conditions. We will see that when we will do program for controlling vehicle using Bluetooth. I hope you understand the basic structure of Bluetooth programming. Please remember, it is same as sensor programming, which follows RSCA, read, store, compare, act. Just there is one additional step before we start RSCA, and that is check if there is something available in buffer. Only if there is something available in buffer, then perform RSCA. In our next video, we will make program to control the vehicle using Bluetooth module.